Thank you for listening to Pow Block Podcast, the flagship Nintendo podcast of Boss Rush Network. Do you need even more gaming and entertainment in your life? Head over to bossrush.net where you can find news, reviews, creators, podcasts, and more focused around the content you enjoy.
Hello everybody, welcome to Nintendo Pow Block here on Boss Rush Games. I'm your host, the enlightened and excited Eddie V. Joining me for this officially last episode is the one, the only, the Gunner Hunter himself, the PC Muscle Race. He is host of Crossroads on Twitch and on his YouTube channel, Exodus 803, and he has a few more projects in the works, but you guys will see that sometime in 2022. Can't reveal it just yet.
No spoilers.
No spoilers. Just know that this hotness is coming. Everybody, please welcome the one, the only, my best friend, my bro him, Mr. LeRon Dawkins.
What's up, everybody? How's it going?
How is it going, sir?
It's going. Like I feel like I'm on an adventure right now because God, I'm getting ready to move real soon. As a matter of fact, I'll be moving out of my current place. I'll be out of here like in a week's time and stuff like that. And I'm just raw dogging it. Like I'm not taking any time off from work, so I'm still maintaining my work schedule. I'm doing the move. Like my personal trainer's up my behind for getting my workouts in 3 to 4 days a week and all that stuff. It's just insanity. I'm doing the exact opposite of stress eating. I'm stress not eating.
Yeah, we was talking. You just like it's stressing me out, and I was just like, no, please don't be stressed out.
Dude, let me tell you, okay, Monday. Okay, this as we're recording this right now, it's Monday. So Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and usually one day on the weekend, I usually work out. My workouts are usually early in the morning on the weekdays. So usually I'm up by like my alarm goes off at like 5:45, and I'm usually doing a workout somewhere right around 7 o'clock and stuff like that. So my eyes popped open at 5:45 this morning. Let me tell you, I did not officially eat anything. Did not put anything in my stomach till like 7 o'clock tonight, and it's just because like I'm full tilt right now, and so like I'm sitting there, I'm eating now, I have like this nice bowl of ramen and everything, right? And I'm like, man, my head is killing me. And then after I finished the ramen, I was like, wait, this is the first thing I ate all day, and I don't think I drank enough water today, so that explains the headache.
Dude, oh no, yeah, you gotta get some food.
Yeah, I got to get better at this. Like it's a problem. It's a problem I've had since I was a kid, though. Like I don't know when it started. Probably somewhere around 7th or 8th grade is when I noticed. That I would usually like get up and hit the ground running and won't eat breakfast. Like I'll eat breakfast like a couple of hours after I've been up. But yeah, like I want to say as early as that time. Like I was one of those people that skip breakfast. And now it's getting to the point where like I'm damn near skipping the whole day.
Oh no, you got to eat and everything. Yeah. Which reminds me, I forgot to ask you. You might have to send me your personal. And I know you talked about it. So I've been going to Poke Bros, getting a Poke Bro, and they have some that's already made that they'll make for you, but there's also ones that you can choose to make. And I kind of, since I've been asking you, I'm just like, I know LeRon has one that he likes, but I do not know how to make the one that he makes.
Oh, I can hit you up with like 3 different recipes. But I have one as always like a go-to. But I can hit you with 3 different like combos and stuff as far as like what to make for your build your own poke bowls and are you good with sushi?
Yeah.
Are you good with sushi and uncooked fish and stuff like that? Oh yes. Yeah, I got you covered.
That's as much sushi as I eat and talk about. Dude, when I found it, because the poke place is right by my job. And so when I found out, because they were just like, yeah, we've been open up for like about a year or 2. I'm like, hold on, you couldn't be, because this was an ice cream shop. She's like, yeah, they closed and moved and they brought it. So I went in And I was just like, okay, what is like? Let me get a real authentic poke, bro, with the hot white rice and all of this stuff. Dude, I ate into that mug and I could not stop eating. It tasted like it was like a bowl of cereal that I could not stop eating. I was just like, and I learned I can't eat poke bowls with chopsticks. I have to have a spoon.
Yeah, it's a craft.
So
No, well, no. The reason why I asked you because I learned that some people think sushi. Some people you ask some people they eat sushi, and they're like, yeah, but only the cooked stuff. So I was like, that's not actually sushi.
right,
That's just a roll.
right.
Yeah, that's why I asked you. Because I couldn't remember if you actually eat like raw fish or whatnot. You know.
Yeah, I do. Salmon I like and tuna I like, but like anything you want to put in there, I'm down for.
Okay. Yeah,
so-
red snapper, some good stuff. Some yellowtail, some good stuff. Well, you saw that picture I put on Twitter a while back. Like I went to like a hooked up sushi restaurant in Northern Virginia.
Yes.
Ooh, Lord, I tell you, man. Like,
Hold on, that's the one you and the boyfriend went to, right?
No, that wasn't us. That was I went there for a work trip, so that wasn't me and him. Yeah, but man, I always knew that I was going to like octopus balls because I'd never had them before, but I always knew I was going to like them because they're the ones that you see in like the anime, where it's like you got like a skewer and it's got three little balls. Like, and people think they're meatballs. No, they're octopus balls, and I knew I was going to like them because number one, I like octopus. I like octopus. Oh yeah.
I've never had it.
Oh my god, it's so good. It's so good.
So, question: where do you find that? Because they just don't sell it up here. I don't even at Asian stores. They don't even sell it.
Okay.
I think.
Okay, now a lot of places like for the most part, like octopus is a little more specialized. So depending on where you're at, you might not be able to get it that much. But if you can't get octopus, like always go for the good standby calamari. Like always get that because calamari is squid, but they're I forget. Like I know octopus and squid are like kind of this, and I believe they're the same family. But yeah, but there's something about the actual like octopus like especially I love the tentacles and stuff, especially like when they have like the nice developed like suction cups and all that stuff. It's something about it. So yeah, so the octopus balls is basically the minced octopus like minced octopus like rolled and then is deep fried. And man, and whatever the sauce is whatever because there's like an aioli or whatever, and
yeah.
Whatever is in that, like man, it's just like a flavor explosion in your mouth. And for me, like guy who already likes octopus, like the octopus and stuff, oh my god, it's amazing. So man, them octopus balls were that was like the best part.
I literally want to because I think is that the picture that you no.
Yeah, that was the picture with the there was a picture. It looked like a tic-tac-toe. Like
yeah.
That was the picture. That was it.
I almost passed out. I'm like, what is that? And then why did it look delicious? Oh, well, everybody, that has been snack 10 for this mini block. But we're gonna jump into the special episode, this mini block. Me and LeRon is gonna be talking about 3 stories that we didn't really cover on Pow Block. We're going to be talking about our reactions to some of the most anticipated game that we was looking forward to. We picked up, we played, and give our reactions to it. And then we're going to talk about how each company, Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo did for gaming in 2021. So you ready to roll, LeRon?
Yes, I am.
So we're going to get into our first story. And this one is kind of a cute one. Random boy has to choose between Nintendo Switch and pizza. Guess what he chooses? I'll get into the story. So, the Nintendo Switch is an amazing piece of video game hardware, but for 9-year-old Candy gets, there's something in the world that has even more appeal. Pizza. Or to be more specific, pizza made in Buffalo, New York, and not Ohio, as was previously stated. Oops. You see, although Kelly lives in Ohio with his family, his mother Heather originally hails from Buffalo and took her kids to the apparently famous Franco's Pizza recently. They loved it so much they wanted to try more, which makes you wonder exactly what is it they put in those darn pizzas. They liked it so much, Heather decided to offer Kelly, who turns 10 next month, a life-changing choice. He could have his dream console, the Nintendo Switch, or he and his family could return to Buffalo and stuff their faces with as much pizza as possible. She said, I told him I couldn't do both, which seems a very sensible bit of a parenting if you ask us. And everybody, yeah, he went and chose the pizza. It's kind of amazing. Amazingly, Kenley picked greasy Italian food over the world's current best-selling games console. As these things have a habit of doing, Heather tweet, because she tweeted out something, has blown up to the point where Franco's Pizza, the information establishment in Buffalo, has ensured that Henley's doesn't have to make the choice between food and Switch. He's getting both.
Aw.
Yes.
Well, first of all, this is a 10-year-old boy. Like, come on, pizza is life at that point. At that point in your early development, pizza is life.
Yes.
So I understand. And he was playing the long game. I guarantee you, because he was like, yeah, like I'm gonna go get this pizza, and then eventually I'm gonna get my Nintendo Switch. He was playing the long game.
See, as a kid, for me, I always chose anything video game related, which was Nintendo for me. I was the Nintendo kid, and so if I could, when I had my birthdays and everything, of course I cared about the food and the cake and family coming over and cards and stuff. But as always, where's the gift at? What Nintendo box is I'm going to get? 1 year, I have been asking for Double Dragon 2 on the NES, and my birthday came up, and everybody. I looked up and it was Double Dragon 2. I disappeared. I didn't touch my cake or ice cream at all. Anytime I got a gift and it was Nintendo related, I would disappear. But man, pizza over the Nintendo Switch, like moms, go get a Jack's Pizza or something. Come back home. But yeah, he chose the pizza, and that's cool that the company has said that we'll also give him a Nintendo Switch. So that's nice. I wish they would. What would you do if you tweeted out something like that? If a friend said, "I'm taking my friend LeRon to this place because he chose sushi over a Series X," like. And that place was just like, okay, and they weren't able to get you a Series X, but they gave you a Series S. What would you do?
Ooh.
Like, how would you feel?
Oh, well, I mean, I'd still feel grateful, but at the same time, it's like, come on, guys, You had one assignment here. You had one job here. You read this and saw what was at stake, what was on the line here, and you fell short. I mean, I'd still be grateful because I can still rock a Series S, But at the same time, I'm like, come on, guys.
Like, I want the beefier thing. Okay, they were able to get a Series X. What would you do?
I feel like I win because have my cake and eat it too. I feel like I win. Yeah, but not honestly, I get it. Like this is a 9-year-old like getting ready to turn 10 and stuff like that, and it's a road trip, like a serious road trip to like get this food. I understand exactly why he picked it. I do. He picked the pizza over the Nintendo Switch because I mean, shit, if anything, he can go across the street and play Tommy's like Nintendo Switch. He can't just go across the street and get that pizza.
That is true. That is very true. I think I did that 1 year. for my birthday that I wanted. We used to have a Chinese place close to my city, and it was a very special place. You go downstairs and it looks like a place in the old 60s 70s karate movies when it was at the restaurants. It looked that in that style, and the parents who owned the business, they were the best fried rice and mini ribs. They made their own special orange sauce. Nobody was touching them at all. And I was just like, for my birthday, I want to go there. And my mom took me to Wuhas. That was the name. It was Wuhas. We went there, and man,
not to be confused with the Busta Rhymes Wuha.
No. No, not the Busta Rhymes one. Which I gotta say that everybody, Janet Jackson has a breakdown of all her of some of her videos, the clothes and stuff, and she talks about her song with Busta Rhymes, and she had
hold on. This is Nintendo Pow Block. Are we about to say what her dress was made out of? Because I know what you're talking about.
I know what her dress was made out of. It was the rings.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
The accessories.
Yes, the accessories. We're gonna leave it at that. I was just like, wait, what? I seen the video. It did not. I just because they looked like a bamboo earrings.
Well, yeah, that or it almost looked like she had chainmail on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When she said she said what it was, I was like, oh wow.
if you guys are wondering out there, just to keep it PG, because this is Nintendo Power Block, just think of the one ring to rule them all.
Yes. Yes. Yes, and we will leave it at that. But yeah, we're gonna move on from that story because I thought this was kind of cool. Team Xbox has a bit of a soft spot for Paper Mario on GameCube. The GameCube era might not have been anywhere near as successful as certain other Nintendo generations, but it was home to a lot of fantastic exclusives. It got such a legacy, in fact, that the official Xbox social media account on Twitter recently went to the extent of suggesting why it's more than a as the best console when it's got great games like Fire Emblem Path of Radiance, Eternal Darkness, and the fan favorite Paper Mario entry, Thousand Year Door. Xbox ended up tweeting out to the people in our reply saying PS5 is better. The best console is the one you enjoy playing, having fun. Someone responded, so you're telling me it's the GameCube? Xbox responded, with games like Path of Radiance, Eternal Darkness, and Thousand Year Door and GameCube, Thousand Year Door, the GameCube is a more worthy. As you can see, the whole conversation actually stems from an Xbox tweet responding to the PS5 is better comments. Xbox thinks that the best console is the one you choose to play, and well, that's how the conversation turned to the GameCube. In a separate tweet, the same account showed its love for the Thousand Year Door character Vivian. And it says, I'm playing Thousand Year Door right now as I saw this tweet, someone replied. While you might not be able to play Thousand Year Door on the Nintendo Switch yet, you can always settle with last year's release, Paper Mario the Origami King. Yes, you can. They gave it 8 out of 10 stars for Nintendo Life. It said it was one of the funniest games in the series, and that is no lie. The Origami King is hilarious. It's like, oh.
I'm eventually gonna pick this game up, but I'm not gonna pick it up right now until there's a price drop on it. Because I honestly gotta see what the Eddie V hype is about this game.
I know I got a lot of flack because I made it.
Actually, go ahead. Austin, my fellow cohort on Crossroads, he says he has it. He says he has it, and he says he wouldn't mind like sending it to me so I can play it.
And I know a lot of people had a problem with the battle system. I love the battle system. I love figuring out this puzzle and the way that the boss, like figuring out the bosses. But There is a point in this game that I took a screenshot and I could have posted it because it would ruin something. But I went into this room and I paused the game and fell out laughing for a good 5 minutes. It was just like the foolishness that is in this picture. Some of the writing in this game is amazing. But to hear Xbox say, that GameCube had all of these great games. Definitely when the original Xbox was out and PS2 was out, it was kind of the beginning where people were trying to still create a new console war, but it was at the time that everybody was starting to get into multi-platform gaming.
Yeah.
And now that you look at it, whether you play on PlayStation 5, Series X, PC, or Nintendo Switch, games are just like fantastic everywhere, and you need certain consoles to be able to tell a story in that medium. I really don't think that Nintendo could do anything Uncharted wise, not because they're not good storytellers, but Uncharted tells it's a good adventure and a deeper story, and it needs the power of the PlayStation in order to get it. Now, anyone can say what you may think, what I have how I feel about the Uncharted, but I love each and every game playing it, even Uncharted 2. I love.
Wait, hold on.
I have its problems with it, but I do respect Uncharted 2. I love that the story that they do in that game. And I believe on PS3 that it needed that power in order for them to deliver that story. I love Naughty Dog. I'm going to give them their props.
Mm-hmm. Sure. I'm just wrapping my head around this because I feel like Uncharted 2 was like the strongest out of the four main Uncharted games.
Mm-hmm.
But we can say that for a time when you're on crossroads. But going back to this, like I appreciate that. I appreciate that, like, just because you work for Microsoft in the Xbox division, just because you work at Sony for the PlayStation division, just because you work at Nintendo is the division. Just because you work for the I feel like an industry like this, they understand that at the end of the day, it's all about the games. And it doesn't necessarily mean it's all about the Nintendo games for Nintendo. It doesn't necessarily mean it's all about the PlayStation games for PlayStation. It doesn't mean it's all about the Xbox games for Microsoft, and Xbox. It means as a gamer, what are the games for you? And I think we're going to kind of get into that a little bit later on in our discussion, right? But
yes.
But ultimately, the GameCube was a good console for me, but I think I feel like I think the GameCube was probably my favorite of Nintendo's consoles that I've owned, because I've had every Nintendo system except, I didn't actively own a Nintendo 64, and I'd never owned a Nintendo Wii U. But I've had every major console essentially, and I do remember my fondest memories of Nintendo had to be on the GameCube at that point. So I can kind of agree with Microsoft and Xbox, on that regard. Now, the 1,000-Year Door, I was not really a fan of that, because I completely dug like Paper Mario on the 64. And I felt like the 1,000-Year Door didn't have that same magic. Like it was something just off about it, And but that doesn't mean it's a bad game. It just didn't do it for me,
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's why now when we look at tweets that people are saying that this system is better than that system, it really doesn't. They're trying to ignite upset. You're not trying to start a discussion. You're trying to ignite anger and upset and replies.
I agree. I agree, because let's look like this. Let's look like this. We have three major video game systems on the market right now.
Yes.
And even back when it was just Sega and Nintendo, like one system always seemed to edge out the other as far as like hardware and stuff like that. But always came down to the games, because and here's the magic of it. If both systems have real good games, you're gonna own both systems.
Yes.
Or if they have games that resonate with you, you're going to buy those systems. There's a reason why you walk into most people's households, and most people's households have two gaming consoles. if they don't also have a PC, because I mean, like, a PC is just by default a gaming system. but but yeah, so I don't know, like, the age of the console wars, in my opinion, ended. When we got to Xbox One and PS4. That's the way that I personally feel that, because basically developers starting with the PS3 and the Xbox 360. Developers were releasing as many games as possible across both systems and things like that. So, in my honest opinion, like, even if your Madden 2013 played a little bit better on your Xbox 360 and then your PlayStation 3, like, they were still the same game on different systems and stuff like that. So, in my opinion, like, the console war ended there. But some people are just immature enough to think that, my X part is better than your plaything, stuff like that,
Right.
And
It's weird. I've never been in a console war. I know.
I was one of those knuckleheads. Well, I was one of those knuckleheads. All right, PS2 is greater than. Well, I was lying to myself saying PS2 is greater than the Dreamcast, but because we all knew the Dreamcast was the shit.
Of course.
And
Soul
then
Calibur, yes.
And then it just died.
Sega, I can't believe. And I think that was the thing. I think because of having a brother who liked Sega games but would play both systems, I played his, Sega stuff, and he played my Nintendo stuff, and I became a gamer as a kid, because not only was I playing the best at home for both systems, I was playing the best version at the arcades. And now and it's just always been up there. Yes, I think the only time that, and then everybody, people know me, that I defend Nintendo hard. Me and LeRon has had discussions, but I can always say that if you hear me on another podcast or anything, I'm playing PlayStation games, I'm playing Xbox games, I'm playing not only Nintendo and stuff. Like, I will play stuff and give that game. I would give the console respect, but I would give that game more respect because of what it did, what it delivered and stuff. Like, people, they may have a problem with Quantum Dreams, but like Heavy Rain, dude, Heavy Rain tells a phenomenal story. Detroit Become Human, amazing. I had a problem with BioWare. Actually got the Mass Effect trilogy and played it all the way, and I was stuck talking to my friend for almost an hour at work. We could have got it written up, and I was just like, I love this game. I love it, and to me, it kind of was just like it was never on the platform that game was on. It was the game itself that I wanted to experience. Now, I will say, I kind of made a quote about It Takes Two, and people who have seen me on Nintendo Pow Block 2 weeks ago knows how I feel about It Takes Two. And I'm going to bring it out to everybody so you get a clear understanding. So the creator of It Takes Two and Brothers of Two Tales, he came up to the Game Awards, and to me personally, he acted unprofessional and very disrespectful. And he said something about the Oscars, which, if you want to disrespect the Oscars, then go disrespect Kojima, because he's trying to make movies himself. And he's dealing with an Oscar winner, with director. So it's just like, I don't understand how you could come to a Game Awards and say the things that you said. It makes us as a gaming community and industry look bad enough. We already get stereotypes still from a lot of politicians and other people who think about games. And you are just... And I kind of felt like you are just acting out what they are thinking about the game industry. So if you want to be that kind of person, I feel like I don't need to support you and your games. I don't have nothing against the people who make them. I don't have nothing against Haze Light. I have something against you as a creator who who has it. You don't. If you don't want to apologize, you don't have to apologize. If this is your ego, your motive, and that's how you are. That's how you are. I'm not going to support something that I feel like makes us as this industry and other creators look bad, and I just can't give into that. You know. So
I can respect that. I look at it from a different aspect with the way he carried himself. You know,
mhm.
well, number one, like the Game Awards is like a show that's like devoted definitely to recognizing the industry and stuff like that. Like like there's. I mean, like there's not a lot of other venues out there. I mean, yeah, there's award shows. Like I take great stock in like the Golden Joystick every year. I love that award show.
I wish that was live.
I
I
wish
wish.
I wish it was too for to a certain extent also. But the one thing I will say is like when you're proud of your work and things like nobody can't tell you anything when you're proud of your work and stuff like
Mhm.
that. Like more power to him, and stuff like that. As long as he's not outwardly like just offending, like offending people of a certain class or a certain like whatever, and stuff like that.
Yes.
Hey, if he's passionate about his work, because I mean, you know what? Sometimes that's what it takes to get the real innovation, like the passion, the emotion behind it, behind you wanting to do it. Like that's usually how it happens. Like some of the best directors in Hollywood, get their Oscars, because of their passion and their drive that they put behind it. Some of them are some of them will really like you hear like commentary off on movies and stuff like that. And when they have the director talking, it's like some of them will be like, "Yeah, I was really pissed off at the industry when I made this movie and stuff like that." And it wound up getting me like the movie wound up going on to become like this hit, this that, give me all these awards and stuff like that.
Yes.
So I get it. I also understand where you're coming from, though. Yeah, it's like, come on, you out here acting like a stereotype.
Yeah, and I think that's why on Pop Block I felt like it shouldn't have won. I feel like it shouldn't have won Game of the Year, and I feel like it shouldn't have won family friendly game. A game about divorce. What kid is playing with a family about that? Like no, there's more people. There's more adults who are playing it, but you would think that it would be like, oh, this is for a family, so kids are involved. And so,
why I think really edged it out to get that award for best family game. I think what edged it out is because like it actually had a mature theme to it that actually made a different demographic of people play it. And like it was honestly like it was one of those games where actually like domestic couples actually played more. Oh yeah, yeah, your average run the mill gamers like we're playing it, true, but like domestic couples, like husband wives, or domestic partners and stuff like that, they were actually
yes,
getting into it. It was something. Honestly, it was a video game where like you look at it, like it was something like a husband could get his wife to play, his wife that does not play video games or think it's a waste of time, and stuff like that. The story drew their partner into it to the point where it's like, okay, like like they sat down, they learned enough to use the controller to play the game and stuff like that. I feel like there's an absolute fun factor because I caught my roommate and one of his buddies playing it one night, downstairs in the living room, and I knew they were playing It Takes Two, and It Takes Two is still on my list of games to get. I just haven't gotten it yet. I just got so much going on, I can't get every video game I want, but yeah, like I caught them. I knew they were playing it, so I ran down. I was running down to the kitchen to grab some water from the fridge, and I wound up like I can't remember what they're. It was some crazy crap. It honestly looked like they were doing like one of those tunnel run games. Like when when you're doing the tunnel runs, and all of a sudden like you jump in like a train car, and you're
yeah,
doing like the roller coaster thing, and I literally sat there and watched them for like 20 minutes play that scene, and it was like magic watching it. And these are just two dudes just like laughing their heads off at the shenanigans and stuff and like yelling at each other. Like, it's like, make sure you get this and hit the jump and all this stuff. And it was like, damn, like this is like, this looks pretty good.
my reason that I feel like that it won was because he was there.
There was also something that I feel like some of it was a gimme. I feel like some of it was a gimme. But I don't know. Like when you look at the other games that are in that category, technically, like two of those games shouldn't have really been there. Two of the Nintendo games shouldn't have really been there. You know, because like one was a rehash with some with a side game in it. You know, and I can't remember
Mhm.
I can't remember all the
So Super Mario Party 3D World, Super Mario Party's
superstars.
Superstars.
Yeah.
Um, there was two
I'll
more.
be
Then it was
I'll be honest with you. Like Nintendo didn't have an Animal Crossing this year. That's why Nintendo didn't get that best family game this year.
yeah. Well, that is true, but I think when I'm thinking of family friendly, I'm not thinking about a game that's about divorce
True,
and trying
true,
to get
but
them back to multiplayer. I'm thinking that, because the thing, because my thing about it is just like, well, where were snipper clips when it came out at the game? Why was that at the Game Awards? That takes two people to play a game.
Mhm.
Like when that came out, that was even on nobody's radar, and it sold a whole bunch, and it got rated high. People were having fun with it. Like literally, people were actually having fun with it. So
you want to know the major problem? The major problem with the Game Awards, and I think by extension, like this is the
mhm,
major problem with all like game awards. Like, well, all awards, anything, whether it's the Grammys, whether it's the Emmys, whether it's Oscars, I think the major problem is that it all boils down to like who's on the nominating committees and who's on the
yes,
judgment panels. I think that's what because let's look at it like this, man. Like I guarantee you, like if I pull up the Matrix, like because you can go to Wikipedia and look up a listing of games released in a certain year. If I
yeah,
pull that Matrix up, I guarantee it's over 1,000 entries. It's over 1,000 entries, and by default, every single one should get a fair shake. But come on, we already know like some games have like the most bare bones structure, was not entertaining and whatnot. Like sometimes people just release games because like it's something they want to do. It's not the best
yes.
game, and stuff like that. Like there's a whole lot in the play on that. And yeah, like I find it wild that like four Nintendo games and It Takes Two, those were the only family games, this past year.
Yeah,
It's kind of crazy, but like I I feel like at the end of the day, like I feel like It Takes Two did a wonderful job, like with what it did, and it actually deserved the awards. I'll be serious with you now. I'm not sure if it's because Jeff Keighley and yeah, Josef Farons was our boys or whatnot. I'm not sure, but
and I will say this, that if people feel like it deserved it, that's great.
Mhm.
But once again, just like when people got it and being surprised, a lot of people said they never played it. So once the game won, no one is talking about that game at all.
You see, that's why it's called the Game Awards, not the Fan Awards. Because when we talked about the nominating process and how the games are voted on
Yeah,
Crossroads,
and,
I mentioned to everybody that they're like, well, here's the crazy part, right? They had 103 different like they were called entertainment influencers, and basically it was like New York Times, Vox,
yes,
I'm sorry, not Vox, Vice, like different outlets that are known for either reporting on things or actually being credited in video games. But then when it came down to because there was 34 categories, yeah, there was 34 categories in the Game Awards, um, and gamers got to vote on it, but each category only had an allotment for 30 votes. 30 votes. There's probably like there's I can't even give you a factor of how many more gamers there are in the world than 30.
oh yeah,
But but so like the fan votes only accounted for 5% of the overall score that the game was going to get to win that category and stuff like that.
right.
So I mean, yeah, like, but also let's be completely fair. Fan awards, if video game award shows were just fan awards, like come on, Madden and Call of Duty would win every freaking year. Every freaking year.
I think Activision
yeah, like
probably would have won this year.
Like those games, we see the same games over and over again. There would be no diversity. And that's the one thing I will say, as a PlayStation gamer, I was shocked that Ratchet and Clank got shut out from every category that it was in. Like Ratchet and Clank didn't win a single award, and it was on. I want to say it was on the block like 5 different times.
That and Psychonauts too.
Yeah, Psychonauts, but Psychonauts is so nichey that I can understand, and the sad part was, wait, Psychonauts was in the indie category, but Canna represented. Canna represented for indies. Yeah, I don't understand why Psychonauts. I guarantee you, Psychonauts probably, if we look at other gaming award shows, like Psychonauts probably got its due. That's also the other reason why, I'm not the biggest fan of the Game Awards. I feel like it's way too slanted, as far as the judgment stuff like that. But the one thing I will say is, as far as the Game Awards shows go, the Game Awards itself goes, this year's Game Awards is probably the best one I've seen.
Which is the opposite. Everybody think that this was the worst one they see.
I know the reason why it was the worst one. We had so many world premieres. You know what? Game Awards should just be called the World Premiere Show.
Well, I mean, we know that there were world premieres, but I think the problem was that because Nintendo wasn't really there showing anything, nobody talked about any of the trailers. Nobody was shocked or wowed by anything. There was no surprise. And I'm not knocking the trailers or anything. And Nintendo probably had their own reason. But
Nintendo did have a reason because Jeff Keighley, I can't remember, he's some people were asking him questions after the show wrapped and everything, and he said him and his team actually went to Nintendo to ask them if they could be part of it, and Nintendo declined.
Which I probably I said on the show 2 weeks ago. I was just like, Nintendo probably they probably had their own thing going on and they didn't want to show nothing or anything, because I'm like, we already seen Breath of the Wild 2, we already seen Bayonetta. They weren't going to give the Metroid Prime 4. No, Nintendo is going to control all of that and everything. See, when Reggie was there and they did it, of course, we got Smash with Joker. We got Ultimate Alliance 3. We got there was another game that we got.
I feel like Reggie's always there, and he's no longer. I feel like he's no longer in the video games industry. Didn't he move on? Is he completely out of the video game sphere?
So yes and no, in a sense, because he's still he was on the Xbox podcast and everything. So he's jumping to different podcasts and everything. He talks to Phil Spencer and everything.
I feel like he's actually an influencer now, and so much in the industry now.
Right, yeah, and he's been on so many boards and 17,000 jobs after Nintendo. I was like, exactly. Ain't you retired?
Yeah. So but you know what? Nintendo also probably is in one of those. I mean, I don't take the Game Awards that seriously. Nintendo probably has the same attitude about the Game Awards as I do. That could be it right there.
I think with me, and it may be because of the people that I follow definitely on social media, the people we are a big group at Boss Rush, and I interact with everybody. I do my best. I try to in some of the other shows and everything. And I know of course I come across as a Nintendo diehard.
Come on. Boss Rush might as well be called Nintendo Rush.
But the thing about it is, and we all got different consoles and we all be on different shows and playing. I think it's just throughout the year when it comes to game releases, and it may have just been this year, it's just that I see so much of Nintendo games that come out on Nintendo that so many people are playing, talking, and streaming. And I'm just I wonder. I'm I
have a theory about that streaming part.
Okay, go ahead. I want to hear this.
I have my theory that we see more and more Nintendo games on stream is because content creators know Nintendo games get the hits.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, right now Twitch is in a very bad spot. I mean, like for example, like Crossroads, like I stream on Twitch every week, when it's live and stuff like that. And like if I found out that if my viewership gets into the low teens, I'm in like the top 3 percentile of streamers for that night.
Yeah.
That's insane, given that we used to have like guys like Ninja and stuff on Twitch, and they were literally dragging in 500,000 viewers, on stream, and now it's like, oh, you have 13 people, oh, you're in the top 1 percentile.
Oh wow.
But that's why now here's a pro tip for you guys trying to get into content creation and streaming. Like, be on it, like find the stuff that's going to get you the views as quickly as possible. That's typically Nintendo games, so I guarantee you these new Pokemon games dropping, you better stream them, but also not just stream them, you better stream them as quickly as possible. If this game drops tonight at midnight, you better be on stream at like 12:01 streaming it.
Yeah, because a lot of people were just like, well, we're going to play this game because Nintendo games come out on a Friday, and so people are going to stream it, people are going to play it, and they even ask like, if you got this game, if you want to hop on, let me know, and we'll all play. And it's good watching the craziness and the fun that people are happy and having it. And sometimes if it's something like Metroid Dread, like I know people were streaming it, but no one was really trying to watch that stream because they wanted to play the game for themselves.
Yeah,
and everything. So and it looks like Nintendo has kind of eased up on some things.
Oh, I would hope so, because Jesus Christ, I got to the point where I was like, I don't feel comfortable streaming Monster Hunter.
Which I think is fine. Well, yeah, because that's Capcom, and how they are.
Well, true, but still, like if it's got the Nintendo logo on it one time, though, like that's all it takes.
Well, shoot, that's all the Nintendo games, even the indie stuff. So,
yeah.
But yeah, it's good to hear Xbox. I'm sorry, we jumped to like 3 different topics in that one.
It's kind of what happens when you and I are on the show.
Oh yes, it's a mini block. So yeah, so that's cool that Microsoft responded. So we're going to get into our last story. Valve responds to Switch versus Steam Deck comparisons, and since it's going after a different audience. Following the reveal of the Switch OLED, Valve announced its new handheld, the Steam Deck. It's drawn plenty of comparisons to Nintendo hybrid system due to its similarities in design. And now some members of the Valve team have shared their own thoughts about their exclusive with IGN. To drive home the point is different, designer Greg Coomer reiterated how the Steam Deck was chasing a market that's already attached to the Steam library. In the words of IGN, high-end PC gaming. We tried to make all the decisions really in Steam Deck that targeted the audience and that served the customers that were already having a good time interacting with the games that are on that platform, on our own platform. That really was how we were making our decisions. We ended up with a device that cosmetically shares some traits with a Switch, but that just was. It's kind of an artifact of how we're proceeded down the design direction. So it says, programmer Pierre-Luc Grives reinforced how the focus was on enhancing player engagement with Valve's Steam library, and the Valve co-founder Gabe Newell believes users will immediately know if the Steam Deck is right for them, or if they should stick with the Nintendo Switch from the moment they pick it up. So I think Nintendo does a great job targeting the audience they do with the content that they have. And that's going to be different. Like when you pick this Steam Deck up, it feels much more like the ergonomics for somebody who's used to playing with an expensive game controller, right? Because it's bigger and it's bulkier than a Switch. And if we're right, that's the right trade-off to be making for the audience that we're going after. That is what Pierre-Luc Griffiths has said. Let me put it this way. If you're a gamer and you pick up a Switch and you pick up one of these, you're going to know which one is right for you, right? And you're going to know it within 10 seconds.
I like that closing remark. I think that's a fair assessment. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now then, let's get down to the nitty gritty of this real quickly, right? The Nintendo Switch, that's not a unique design, because guess what? I have a Sony PS Vita. Like they're virtually the same, except this thing has detachable joysticks,
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that. Like, I mean, so yeah, like basically everything is an evolution of something else. Like, like technically this is an evolution of what we wound up getting with the Nintendo 3DS and the Nintendo DS. And guess what? The Nintendo DS was an evolution from the Game Boy and the Game Boy Advance and stuff like that. Ultimately, like, what's the saying? There's a saying. It's all happened before.
Yes.
And it will happen again, and it will keep happening again. That's how we get the Steam Decks and stuff like that. So those comparisons and stuff. Like I feel like comparisons like that are always they always feel cheap. In my opinion, they always feel cheap because until something is really innovative. Like, I mean, look at this. Like cell phones stay the same. They do. I mean, at one point they were flip phones, and guess what? We're back to flip phones again.
Surprisingly.
I was actually shocked they came back. I was like, what? Come on.
Exactly. Well, it's funny because when I look at the Steam Deck, I'm like, this is like a Game Gear, a high-end Game Gear.
Oh, a Game Gear. And guess what? A Game Gear is honestly, a Game Gear was a precursor to the Nintendo Switch.
But then with the Game Gear, I was just like, goodness, this is the Atari Lynx, and this is the TurboGrafx. Well,
wait.
No, not the Turbo Duo.
Wait,
not the TurboGrafx.
The Game Gear, spawned like the TurboGrafx and the Atari Lynx. The Atari
Lynx.
The Lynx, yeah.
Because the Game Boy did Atari the Turbo one, TurboGrafx one handheld was like almost like the Game Boy. The original Game Boy.
Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, so that was good. As long, I guarantee you, like when someone made the wheel and the tire came along, like people were making comparisons about the wheel versus the tire, stuff like that. It's the nature of the beast and stuff like that. Now, like I said, I do agree with that closing statement though. Like you pick one of them up and like you'll know within the first, I'm not gonna say 10 seconds you'll know like that. I feel like that's a bit quick. But I would say like when you have like a real good test of each one, you'll know which one fits for you. I don't think now, maybe them saying that they weren't trying to horn in on Nintendo's on Nintendo's market, I feel like that was a bit of a stretch because I mean everybody's trying to jump into portable gaming. I guarantee you Sony's going to be back in portable gaming soon. I guarantee you. The thing is though, like a lot of companies got to figure out what makes their portable device stick. Because guess what? At the end of the day, like if people aren't going to play your Stream Deck, and they're not going to play your Nintendo Switch, and they're not going to play your whatever devices, guess what? They can always play. They can always play a freaking cell phone because everyone has a freaking cell phone.
Yes.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, like you've got to find what makes your thing marketable to like enough people so you grab a piece of this market share, overall.
I think my thing with the Steam Deck is I want to see how many people hack it to make it a Nintendo Switch.
That's gonna happen because look at everybody that hacked PSPs and PS Vitas to play Nintendo games.
The games. Yeah. I think that's what I know it's kind of open source and everything. But I think like I said, it doesn't have any comparison to me. I think the worrisome part is people turning it, buying it for illegal reasons, and that's turning it into the so-called Switch Pro that everybody wants. I'm just like, you really want to?
I mean, yeah, I do kind of want to Switch Pro though.
I mean,
because come on, the OLED is like. This is like Switch 2.25. It's not even 2.5 in my opinion.
Yeah, but yeah, a lot of people love the screen. I gotta.
Trust me, I was in Best Buy and saw the difference. I was like, man, I'm so upset.
We had a discussion where everybody's like, well, I'm not buying it, and and all of this, and it's just like, oh,
I
okay.
still technically haven't bought one. I've had two opportunities to buy one.
Yes,
Like
that is
I have, but like things, the pragmatism's winning out. Like the last time I ran across the OLED I want, the white one. I ran across that. Like Target had 11 of them, and I was like, man, I'm getting ready to move. My Switch still works. My regular Switch still works just fine. Like I can't justify spending $400 when I know I'm about to put $400 into like this move.
see. I thought you was gonna speak to yourself and be like, but my doc is acting a god dang fool,
My
and then
doc does act a fool, but it doesn't act enough of a fool. it doesn't act enough of a fool yet, because I will buy an OLED before I buy a refurbished one. I don't trust refurbished anything. I don't. I don't care if it's coming directly from Nintendo.
Oh no. So, but yeah, well, it's funny reading the story now because the Steam Deck has been delayed to next year, and a lot of people probably won't get theirs until like maybe March or summer.
Yeah, summer. And
Yeah.
you want to know the sad part though? Because I wrote the article for Boss Rush that announced the delay for the Steam Deck. And it was at that point after I wrote that article and it got published, I was like, you know what? I think I want a Steam Deck now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I'm gonna buy the cream of the crop one. I'm gonna buy the one that has like the most storage and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because I opened up my Steam library and I was like, man, like I got games who's gonna drag. I'm gonna put Detroit Become Human on that sucker.
Oh wow!
I'm going to put Detroit Become Human on that sucker. Like let me open it. Like just real quick, I'm just going to do a rundown real fast. I'm just going to open up my Steam library. I'm just going to name like the top games that I'm playing right now. Monster Hunter World Iceborne, Detroit Become Human, Bayonetta.
That is right.
Alan Wake Remake, Mass Effect Legendary Edition. We're finally going to get our portable version of Mass Effect. God, I'm giddy. Strider, Vanquish, Resident Evil 2 and 3.
It's so funny. So everybody, backstory. Me and LeRon had a discussion about Mass Effect Legacy Edition. I wrote a blog that EA's not really supporting Nintendo. We had a discussion about that. And Ron said that we may see it. Oh, we never know. It may come to Switch and everything. Mass Effect Legacy came out. I think we all played it for a good maybe 2.5 weeks, and we all kind of put it away.
Yeah, pretty much. I streamed it for 3 days.
And it's just like
that doesn't mean I dislike it. It just means that there's others. Hold on, Mass Effect Legendary Edition came out, and then a week later, Monster Hunter Stories 2 was out. Come on, come on.
That is true. Guilty because I bought Mass Effect Legendary Edition on day one for Xbox, and I need to install it for Series X.
We're playing a game series that's 15 years old that we've already played like 1,000,001 times, and you're talking about a brand new. You're talking about basically Pokemon for Monster Hunter comes out the next week, and we're just gonna keep playing Mass Effect. Come on, guys. Come on. I don't, man. The Mako could be moving. The Mako could be moving like a dream, and no. We still gotta stop playing.
Oh goodness. Good movie. I think I told Beyond WSAD, shout out to them, go check out their podcast. I told, because they did a episode of Halo, and I literally told them, I was just like, I do not know why the Warhawk still controls like a garbage can full of rocks. They work with Playground. They just got Game of the Year with Forza Horizon 5. They need to bring someone in the team and fix all of their mechanics for driving. It is terrible.
Hey, maybe that's the thing. Maybe that's their shtick, though. Like, yeah, we have a war machine that plays like a beach ball. Maybe that's their shtick.
But the thing about it is, then I started playing, because I played Halo Infinite, and I played like Just Cause 3, just using the grappling hook to get everywhere. That's pretty much it. I'm like, I can't use these videos. But everybody, go read Corey's review of Halo Infinite. Leave him a message. Let him know what you think. It is a fantastic game. It's just that the how you started? Oh no, you don't do first person shooters.
I really don't. But I do have it queued up in my Game Pass. I do have it queued up. But I'm actually waiting for the campaign mode. Wait, campaign mode? That's not out yet, is it?
No, the whole game is out.
Oh, so campaign mode is out now?
Yeah, it came out the day before the Game Awards.
Okay. Well, never mind. I don't have any excuses now.
Yeah, so you can play the Game Pass and call it a day.
Yeah, but for real, hit up Corey's video review for that. And then hit us up on our Facebook and our Discord. Show him some love. Let us know what you guys thought about it.
Yes, and if you feel like
look at this, like my influence, like cause like on Crossroads, I feel like I talk about Nintendo content all the time now.
Oh, I heard about you giving Nintendo praise on Boss Rush podcast that you guys should check out live on Wednesdays. Also, I was just like, hold on, wait, LeRon giving Nintendo praise?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
I don't hate Nintendo. I mean, I hate some of the stuff the home company does, but I don't hate Nintendo.
Well, everybody, we're going to get into our second section, which is there's been a lot of games that came out this year. Me and Jack, we talked about our games. He mentioned Kenna Bridges of Spirits. I mentioned Metroid Dread, and it was just like seeing that trailer and being so anticipated for it. And then when it came out, it's just like we just rant and raved about it and everything. I love Kenna Bridges of Spirits. It's a great game. I still got to finish it up. And I talked about Metroid Dread, but I want to ask you, LeRon, what game did you see this year, and then when it actually released, you picked up, and it just it blew you away, or it just like really made you feel good, happy about it?
Okay. I played a lot of new games this year. Like I played a lot of new games that were called Monster Hunter games. I played a bunch of new games that were games that were unexpected and things like that. When I saw the trailers for Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart last year, I knew I was going to get this game. But when I actually turned that sucker on and actually press start to play the game, I had no idea that it was going to blow my mind like that. And honestly, like I've even said this on Crossroads quite a few times, Ratchet and Clank is basically another tech demo for what the PS5 is capable of. But you know what is one of the most fun tech demos you will ever play for a gaming system, in my opinion, because man, like it's basically making the hardware flex. Everything from the solid state drive that basically powers the whole thing, to the all the functionality of the DualSense controller and stuff like that. It's an experience. And geez, it blew me away. It's a gorgeous looking game too, which like boggles my brain that it didn't win a single award that it was in any of the categories it was in for the Game Awards. But who knows? PlayStation Blog actually let more fans vote.
Yes.
And the PlayStation fans gave Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart Game of the Year for PlayStation Blog, stuff like that. And I can't argue with that because like it was great. But me, like the one that was all the hardware stuff, all the hardware and like the tech wizardry and stuff that was going on in it, all that aside, like the game looked gorgeous. Like it had wonderful art direction. Like another two other games I think had wonderful art direction, or Cannon Bridge of Spirits as well as Deathloop. Wonderful art direction, but the other thing that stuck out to me the most, and this is me as a writer, like it's story. And I'm not talking about the wacky, like the comic book stuff that was going on. I'm talking about when you got down to the nitty gritty and you got to the heart of it, stuff like that. You realize that that Rivet, is dealing with PTSD and all that stuff. Like it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. And definitely give it up for my girl Jennifer Hale, FemShep, as the voice for Rivet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. So for me, out of all the games, and trust me, I played Kingdom Bridge of Spirits. I love it. I love it. But Ratchet and Clank at the end of the day, ripped apart, like just stuck out in my mind. You know, like that's why I can't wait for the next Uncharted, because that'll probably be the game that blows me away next. Actually, I already know the game is gonna blow me away. Dead Space remake. That's gonna be the next game that I'm already super hyped for it. I've been watching all the dev diaries because man, and I'll send you a link to a dev diary.
They got some new ones out.
Well, actually, this one is a follow up to the one they had recently. But it was stuff that we had not seen in the first dev diary, because that first one was like 45 minutes long.
Right, because they were showing the physics and everything.
They were showing the physics. They were showing how the necromorphs are going to move on and stuff.
Yes,
they actually showed They've actually showed some of the map laid out now, and they've actually shown you that, hey, expect the unexpected, because there was a scene in it where there's a scene in Dead Space. You played the original Dead Space, so remember the first time you had to go into a 0G room. Yeah, and it was the one where you had to go to the 0G room where the centrifuge was on the other side.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first room that you go to get to that part, because now that Isaac no longer has to do the 0G jumping stuff, he can now use his boots as thrusters like he could in Dead Space 2 and 3.
Yes.
You can now travel around that room, and they show you that there's an area of the game now that you can get to that you could not get to in the previous game now.
Send it to me so I can watch it
tomorrow. I will. I will send it to you later.
I think me and you, when we talked about Dead Space, the remake, we were just like, oh, we already know this is a day one purchase. This.
Oh yeah, as soon as pre-orders go up. It's like take my money.
Best Buy, I need this with the collection. If you got something good to go with it, I'll take the goodies.
And shoot, just give me my Steam. Give me my Steam pre-order.
Ooh, yes. Well, for me, everybody, Voice of Cards. When I see this,
okay,
and when I seen it in the Nintendo Direct, I'm like, what is this? What is this music? Played the demo. I was just like, oh, the gameplay is this easy? It's only about 8 to 10 hours? Okay. The voice acting is good? Okay. Got the game and played it all the way straight. Went back, because I level up to the final level. Went back, collected all the cards to get the final ending, and I left there. I put my Switch controller down and was just like, because I may buy this on PlayStation 4 just to stream it or just to record gameplay of it. I put the controller down and was just like, I need the soundtrack. I need a physical version of this. And I must have laughed for a good 5 to 10 minutes on some of the parts, because some of the story beats that they have was so funny, unexpected, but I was into this game. And there was stuff that when my first playthrough, that I didn't know about until I did my second playthrough. And I was just like, oh, this is going on? I didn't know this boss was here. And then I fought that boss and beat him. I'm just like, oh yeah, I want to buy it for PlayStation 4 because I want to get the achievements on it. And like I said, I want to stream it too. Because dude, streaming on YouTube is like so easy.
Yes.
To PlayStation 4. Yes. I'm like, I love this.
Yep. Oh, you know what? Actually, I know a game before even Dead Space remake comes out that'll probably blow me away based off of what I saw in the trailers versus what I would get on the game. Project Triangle Strategy.
Oh yes,
Project Triangle Strategy, and of course, Advance Wars 1 and 2 Boot Camp.
Yes,
which I'm so mad that Nintendo stealth delayed it again. The eShop has it for May now.
Are you serious?
Yep, because I went to pre-order it. And because I was like, it's supposed to be coming out in February. It's supposed to come out in February, the same time that what game was it? But yeah, like I was like, yeah, let me go ahead and do Advance Wars, and I was like, yeah, like I'm gonna go pre-order me some Advance Wars, and then boom, like that sucker said, where is it? Hold on. As a matter of fact, I'm pulling it up right now.
The game has been delayed. Wait, what?
Advance Wars 1 and 2. Yep, April 8th, 2022. I'm so mad. I'm so upset.
Oh, I'm happy then because that's 2 days before my birthday.
Oh, oh, oh! Look at you dropping hints.
Well, shoot, that means my birthday. Because yeah, my birthday is on a Sunday. So good. Well, I'm taking my birthday weekend off. So the 8th, 9th, and the 10th, I will be off. But I may have to move it to Saturday. So well, I'm off on Mondays. So yeah. Ooh, yes. If they moved it to May, good goody woogly. I don't. Goodness. My February's already packed with. I'm not so worried about Elder Ring, but man, Forza Horizons. Not Forza Horizon. Dang, Horizon Forbidden West.
Oh God. Oh God. I'm still processing that one. I'm still processing that. I'm still processing God of War Ragnarok. Like, oh God.
Oh goodness, that's why I need the PS5. But yeah, Voice of Cards for me. So we're gonna get into our last section. I'm very interested to know from you, LeRon. You know, everybody, like I said, he hosts Crossroads. We mentioned it a lot. And I host Nintendo Pow Block. But I kind of want to know, from your perspective, how do you think each three companies did for 2021? So we're going to start with Sony. What are your thoughts on how Sony did in 2021?
Okay, in my opinion, Sony had a pretty strong 2021. So the system launched November 12th last year. It had some nice it had nice momentum rolling out, and then like it kind of like slowed down for a minute, and then next thing you know, we got hit with Returnal, we got hit with Ratchet and Clank, we got hit with Kana, and then things kind of slowed down again. People were like, okay, where's the state of play is at and all this stuff, PlayStation, like the PS Plus games, like the freebies, kind of got stagnant, I mean, let's look at it this way. There were some duds there. The one game, like the Derby game, that, come on, but and then all of a sudden, all things got ramped up again, and we wound up with Deathloop,
Yes.
And so in my opinion, I feel like Sony's outing, if we're going to rate it on a 1 to 10, I want to say Sony's 2021. I'm going to give it an 8.5 maybe. Like, yeah, there's still some things that they could have done better and things like that, for example, like I feel like they took too long to get us the capability of putting our own SSDs in the system. I feel like they took a little too long on that. That was something they should have had that a little more fleshed out. But I also got it. I think when PS5 was getting released, when the release window came up, they were like, look, we got to get what we have out now. Like we can work all the kinks out as long as the video game system itself is solid, which it was.
And I gotta give it to Sony. They purchased Bluepoint, which was fitting. I think Bluepoint is such a fitting company for Sony. To same way with Insomniac. Like we a lot of people thought they already owned Insomniac. I did too. I didn't know that they was independent. But I'm like, them purchasing Bluepoint, definitely with Demon Souls, definitely the way that Shadow of the Colossus have that remake that they did. Sony got Days Gone that people got love for. Horizon Zero Dawn, the God of War, like the PC stuff that Sony has put on has been hot.
They even had unexpected exclusives and stuff like that. Well, I mean, I was about to say Death Stranding, but I realized that was a PS4 game. But at the same time, like these director's cut games, and yeah, say what you will, yeah, they fumbled the ball. They fumbled the ball with freaking Ghost of Tsushima. They did. And then it almost seemed like, well, Final Fantasy VII Remake is a PlayStation exclusive right now. It looks like there's no plans of coming outside to another console at this point. I mean, like it just hit the PC, and I mean, and usually when it comes to PC, that usually means it's coming everywhere else. And I mean, there's been no announcement that it's coming to Xbox. There's no announcement. There's a cloud version of it coming to Switch. So I think the writing's on the wall for that, but. Because we already know, like Square Enix is announcing, new Final Fantasy projects for the other consoles outside of Sony. But going back to what I was saying though, like PlayStation did have some unexpected exclusives and stuff like that.
Yes.
Definitely was technically an unexpected exclusive because after the ZeniMax, deal went through for Microsoft and stuff like that, we're like, oh, everything's just not coming to PlayStation. So yeah, I give PlayStation's 2021 an 8.5. Yeah, there's some things it could do better. Like for number one, like it did the medium much better than it did on Xbox.
Yeah, I wonder how did that go? Because it came and went on PlayStation. Like nobody talked about it.
Nobody talked about it outside the initial reactions. Because everybody wanted when it became a big PS blog entry about what the DualSense controller is going to do for it. Like that was the draw. But at the same point, like. I hate to say it, the medium is a good game, but it's not. It didn't blow me away.
Okay,
it didn't blow me away. I mean, it's good. It's got a solid story. Like gameplay, the gameplay and the combat system is a little stagnant, But at the end of the day, like I also feel like you got another game that wound up being a good tech demo for PlayStation hardware because like the DualSense controller, the DualSense controller actually made that game, and like let's look at it this way, like Phil Spencer is sitting back and taking notes and giving Sony its kudos on the DualSense controller, about that. He's like, yeah, that's one thing that we should have really thought about because I don't have the new Xbox controller, but the new Xbox controller basically is just an updated version of the Xbox One controller. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, see, yeah, that's the difference between his and mine. Like, look at my D-pad. Show yours again, Ed. Like my D-pad looks like the traditional D-pad, where his D-pad looks like the thumb pad.
Yes, it's very comfortable. I'm so glad that they
added
it. Yes, yeah.
I honestly feel like the ones on your controller actually wear out the quickest. Yeah, I mean it was something we encountered at GameStop.
Okay. I will say this: I have my Black Midnight PlayStation 5 controller.
I have yet to buy one. I'm getting one though because I'm buying those dark plates for the PS5 when they come out.
Yes. See, I like the light blue one. I'm thinking of buying the light blue one once they get released because I was just like the light blue reminds me of the light blue Wii.
Yes.
And so when I seen it, I was just like, ooh, because people were just like, I think some people were doing like custom controller colors with it, and everything. Because someone did like that same light blue for it with their PS5 controller, and I was just like, ooh, I would love to have this so bad. But yeah, I give Sony their props. Definitely with Return of Ratchet and Clank. I know Resident Evil Village was a big thing for because of Big Mama on there,
Lady D.
And then like Deathloop, and yeah, they're still a place where hit and miss.
They were.
With it,
they were.
But I definitely enjoyed like watching it with you and coming on Crossroads and talking about it. Like I have fun doing that.
Which you'll be back for some of the upcoming ones. You will.
I cannot wait.
Like, well, no, I like doing reaction videos with actual gamers, and stuff like that, And that when I say gamers, I don't mean just PlayStation gamers. Like I like seeing people that like enjoy the experience of these shows, where there's an E3, a state of play. What's the Microsoft ones called? I forget.
I normally call the Microsoft ones inside Xbox.
Yeah. The Nintendo Directs and stuff like that. Wait, I haven't done a reaction video with you guys, but I was like in one of the like the group chats with you guys for one of the Nintendo Direction. Actually, I was in the one for the Indie Direct, and I was like, oh, like the Indie Direct was kind of cool,
Yeah, I didn't. I didn't because I had to do something for the Indie Direct because I had to leave, and then I came back and I know what happened. I had a rehearsal that day, so I couldn't do the Indie Direct and everything. But no, that was the Game Awards. Sorry, the Indie Direct I love, but I didn't know that people were doing any meetups, so I was just watching it for myself to be like, oh, okay.
No. There was one. Oh, was it E3? Well, no, because E3 you were losing your damn mind.
E3, I lost my mind. Logan, shout out to Logan. I lost my mind for E3 because I was hyped seeing Metroid Dread and seeing Breath of the Wild. Good googly moogly.
You know what? My entire world stopped at the reveal for Dread. My world stopped. Number one, I wasn't thinking that we were going to get a continuation of the original Metroid storyline. I was not thinking that. I was like, oh man, we're finally going to see some Prime 4, and I was like, wait, this looks like classic Metroid. It's like Samus whooping ass with her new moves in classic Metroid.
I told Jack that shot where Craig is yelling, kind of like screaming at Samus, and Samus is just like, "Look, fool, we're not about to do this. You would not disrespect me at all." And smacked him.
I have questions though. That cannot be the original Kraid. Am I right? Because this is technically the third time she's killed that fool.
It's
and I don't want to say it's an SAX either. I'm not SA. I don't want to say I meant an X parasite, because where'd that Kraid come from? We need to know more about Planet ZDR. That's all I'm gonna say about that, because it looks like, if I didn't know any better, I'd say like ZDR was like a menagerie or like a zoo.
Yeah.
Because we saw some classic monsters, we saw a classic boss. Come on, what's going on here?
Well,
I saw Ridley, and I was like, I saw Kraid, and I was like, damn it, Ridley's gonna show up.
Didn't even show up. I'm like, oh.
Well, I mean, then again, freaking Ravenbeak might as well. Really?
Well, this is the thing about it. Why didn't Ravenbeak? And I think this is, and we're gonna get into Microsoft in a few. I really thought, I still have a feeling that Mother Brain is coming back, but in what form?
Actually, the Mother. Okay, so like, all this, like, Mother Brain was a construct of the Chozo. So like, like all those eyeball things that you were killing to get like the power up, those are they were basically Mother Brain, like either prototypes or whatever, something, stuff like that. You can't, this is the cool thing about Metroid games. Like, every Metroid game still has some call out or some throwback to like the lore of Metroid, because like, even though this was in here, like even though those brain things are in there, like, that's not the first time we've seen Metroid Dread. Was not the first time we've seen those. And besides Metroid and Super Metroid, I think we saw those brain things one other time in like some other game, whether I want to say it was maybe in Prime. Actually, it wasn't one of the Prime games that we saw those. So, there's call outs all over the place in Metroid to this stuff, we've had 2 mechanized versions of Ridley.
Oh yeah, that is true.
Kraid keeps coming back, and he keeps getting bigger and bigger. What is this? Was that Daddy Kraid?
I don't know, but that whole cinematic shot was just like, oh, Mercury Steam knew what they was doing.
And also, hold on a second, because like, okay, so remember, the cinematic starts, she drops in that room, and all of a sudden, like, Kraid starts running up. She didn't even flinch. She didn't. And then when Crane starts screaming at her, she's already charging her freaking arm cannon, just shoots him right in the mouth. And it's like, okay, Samus, we know you're a badass, but come on, stop being cocky. Like, get it together, girl.
She handled him.
Yeah, especially if spoiler alert, you do a sequence break.
Yeah, I seen the sequence break. I was just like, oh wow, okay, I got it. But
I'm doing a new run of Metroid right now, Metroid Dread right now, and it's nothing but sequence breaks. It's nothing but sequence breaks, which means nice. it's testing my limits because I got lost in my first playthrough of Metroid, and I was literally just trying to figure out where I was at so I could get to the next part of the game, and I stumbled on a sequence break that got me the gravity suit early.
Oh, nice.
And so I spent an entire hour trying to perfect that technique because for that sequence break, you had to do 4 different advanced techniques in Metroid to get. You had to shine spark, you had to shine spark cancel. You had to there was all sorts of stuff going on to get the gravity suit early, but it's worth it if you pull it off. And I pulled it off because I was like, no, I'm lost right now. I need this gravity suit to get my ass back on track.
Yeah, Mercury Steam, I think they had speedrunners in mind when they made this game, and that's
the tradition of Metroid now, though.
Yeah, and I think that's why there's not hints in the game to be like where to go next. It's just really just like
I am kind of mad about that though, because I don't know, maybe it was because Metroid Zero Mission just spoiled me, but I did like a waypoint system. A waypoint system, honestly, is what I needed for this game.
And Mercury Steam was just like, no, we're not going to give it to
because they gave you a waypoint system in Samus Returns. So I was like, why would you not give it back to us?
Because of Return of Samus was such a hard game to figure out where to go. That's why Mercury System was just like, we're going to fix that and give you guys some directions. Now that it's a new game, no, you guys go explore. This is a new world.
By the way, Mercury Steam, if you guys want to go ahead and put Samus Returns on Switch, I will buy it.
Well, we shall see. I mean, I know they got another game.
Yeah, they have another game. They have another game that's not even going to be on Nintendo per se. Yeah, it's going to be outside Nintendo because Nintendo hasn't bought those guys yet. But
trust me, Nintendo already got them in the pocket. They already know. Oh, you got us 3 million sales. You even did that, like good sales, even with Samus Returns. Oh, Nintendo's just like, y'all got some financial trouble. We got y'all.
It's like how Nintendo let Capcom do all those Zelda games. You know?
Hmm?
Yeah, I was like, that was one of the best partnerships I'd seen.
Oh, now that's the remake that Grezzo needs to do and bring back out.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get to the Xbox though.
Let's get into Microsoft. What are your thoughts for Microsoft, LeRon?
Okay, I'm not going to be mean. But I feel like right now Microsoft's outing. I'm going to go on the same number scale that I gave Sony. So out of 1 to 10, I want to say Microsoft's outing is a 7. So it's kind of lukewarm in my opinion. And that's because I'm not sure if Microsoft and the Xbox division got caught with their pants down or whatnot, but yeah, Sony definitely had better standing, in the gaming community, as far as those two companies went, because Sony just had a stronger legacy of games going into their 5th generation of the PlayStation console, whereas Microsoft's on its 4th generation of console, and I don't know what specifically went sour with the Xbox One, but it seems like it almost mirrored what Nintendo went through with the Nintendo Wii. All of a sudden, third party development wasn't as good as it was, and sadly Microsoft's first party titles weren't enough to push them into a more competitive edge and stuff like that. So I give them a 7 because I did appreciate Microsoft's transparency they came out and said, "Hey, we know we don't have the games," like, and they had to admit that pretty fast. They had to admit that when they were like, "Okay, like that game that was supposed to be a launch title, like Halo Infinite, that game, yeah, like it's not a launch title. Here's why it's not a launch title, and here's what we're gonna do about it and stuff like that." And they had games that came out, like the Medium was a sleeper hit.
Yes,
it was like Unfortunately, I don't own an Xbox Series X or NES. I have Xbox Game Pass, so I'm able to take advantage of some of these games, and stuff like that. Forza Horizon 5, Jesus Christ. I haven't been this enthusiastic about a racing game since Burnout Paradise.
So this is the thing about it, and I said this I keep saying this. Love Forza 5, don't love the soundtrack.
Yeah, the soundtrack could be better. The soundtrack could be better, but at the same time, I do like the soundtrack. It's got a.
I feel like radio station I'm not digging. There's another house radio station on there that I like.
Well, you know what? Here's what I'm thinking. I feel like they're trying to go for like, what was the Need for Speed game where it was a whole bunch of EDM music? Because I think that's what they were trying to go for. And I'm like, that's a different era of gaming. Like you got to read the room when it comes to actual like.
Is that Underworld?
No, Underground. Oh, okay, Underground did. The first Underground had a lot of EDM in it, and the second one was more hip hop.
Hip hop. Okay.
Yeah, it was more hip hop infused. Yeah, but Forza Horizon 5, like Halo, we finally got Halo, which was wonderful. Psychonauts, it was the game everybody was looking for and everybody was asking for. Yes, that was also good and stuff like that. Microsoft is showing that they've got the oomph, but they haven't proven the staying power yet. Because I just pulled up the Game Pass lineup, and yeah, so I mean, Psychonauts 2, Forza Horizon 5, Flight Simulator finally came out for Xbox, right?
Yes.
Infinite Horizon, yeah, like I mean, it's solid, but everyone's still waiting for that It game, and unfortunately, Halo Infinite is not the It game yet. It might get there soon, but it's not the It game yet. And Forza Horizon 5 is probably the It game right now, but still, like we got to wait and see. We got to wait and see for these Bethesda games to start dropping.
Well, I said when me and Jack was talking, I said because they had a real strong E3, they kind of released more first party IPs that got more recognition than Sony. I'm not trying to knock Returnal or Ratchet and Clank, but Halo Infinite's multiplayer, people was just like they could have gave that a perfect 10. That's like the best multiplayer for first person shooters out there. A lot of people like
you've played it. I mean,
so
I'm not a first person shooter fan. I'm one of those people.
Campaign. I've never played the multiplayer at
all.
I'm
the same way though. I get these first person shooters to play the campaign because I get dusted in multiplayer.
Yeah. I think because Call of Duty Vanguard came out, didn't nobody really talk about that. Battlefield 2042 fell on deaf ears and was a broken mess. So like when it comes to
Call of Duty Vanguard ain't doing much better.
Dude, that game came out and disappeared with the quickness. Like
it's plagued with problems, just like well, it's not plagued with as many problems as Battlefield, but still.
I didn't have no one talked about it. No one streamed it or anything. I think it's because of the Activision stuff that's going on, but I really can't say. Of course.
Go ahead. No, I was just about to say. I think Microsoft is doing good, but it's one of those things where it's like it needs more effort. And I get it. Like the pandemic obviously hit Microsoft and Xbox harder than it hit Sony, and it definitely hit harder than it hit Nintendo.
Well, yeah. Well, I think with the Series S now being more available in stores, it's kind of like the current gen has officially started because now it's in the retail.
Yeah.
Could go in. Microsoft is like they kind of been quiet half of the year until E3. Once E3 happened, it feels like they're talking a lot. They're showing a lot. You know, we got to see the Halo Series X. We got to see the Forza Horizon 5 controller. We got that mini fridge that people went crazy over for. You know, it seems that Microsoft is in a good spot. I heard that Halo Infinite competition was problematic because they didn't have a lot of Series X's, so they had to use some dev kits and some other things. And I was just like, why not just use the Series S version? Like, isn't it the same game or something?
Going back to PlayStation for a second.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
That's another thing that made PlayStation's year is like the partnerships and the team ups they had. They purchased Evolution.
Yeah,
they purchased Evolution. They have a minimal stake in Epic Games now. You know, like the actual Epic Games store, not just like, you know, the Unreal branch of it and stuff like that. You know, like, I mean, yeah, Sony had a kick-ass 2021.
Oh, I give a props because like the SSD thing, like you was able to put in your own SSD.
Yeah.
If you need that space, I'm like, that's really good.
Yep. Yeah. So Microsoft is. I feel like 2022 might. I'm not gonna say it might be their year, but it might be the year that it all comes together. You know.
Yes.
Yeah. Now Nintendo on that same scale, I give Nintendo a 9. Nintendo had a nice year. I mean, I've owned my Nintendo Switch for 3 years now, and this is the year I played my Nintendo Switch the most. You know,
I see. You had like 192.
yeah. You notice my top 3 games were 2 of them were Monster Hunter titles.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I jumped from I think 88 games to 92 games, and it said I had like 542 hours. I'm like,
how, Sway? How?
Well, yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The highlights of Nintendo is like this for me this year. Nintendo had like a lot of fun games, not just games I cared about, but actual fun games. You know, games that maybe I didn't stick with them for long, but games that actually got my attention and I actually enjoyed playing. You know, for like a hot minute and stuff like that. You know, Nintendo. I've said this before on an episode of Pow Block, and I will say it again. Nintendo kind of gets in their own way, though. Like, you know, like there's things they could have done or thought about a little bit better. Like, I mean, the rollout of Nintendo Switch Online, the expansion pack, you know, that could have been a little bit better. You know, there was a lot of expectation behind it. You know, from a gaming standpoint, me personally, the Nintendo 64 is not my most romantic system. If I'm being honest with you, like the Nintendo system that I enjoyed the most was probably the NES. Yeah, but still, you know, like Nintendo 64 was like the most wanted library of games for gamers and stuff like that. And I still feel like Nintendo kind of did y'all wrong on that, you know, like from the pricing to the rollout, you know, like especially in the Sega Genesis part, that I feel like that was problematic as well because out of those games, like 8 of those games were already on something you could buy at one price versus paying the like the monthly subscription and stuff like that. So that's a sticking point for me, you know, like me personally, like because Nintendo 64 is not something I was romantic about. Like it was not going to be the draw for me to like up my subscription, you know, from the basic to the expansion pack.
Well, I think the thing with the Nintendo expansion is that people didn't know that you're not paying. I was explaining to Dan and Jacob that people thought that they were paying $50 on top of the 20. I'm like, no, you're paying the $50 in total because you already, for those who already subscribed, you're paying at a discount price, but still would end up $50 plus tax because you're adding Nintendo 64 and Sega Genesis. If you're buying it outright with the $50, you're getting the NES, Super Nintendo, N64, and Sega Genesis. And people weren't thinking about that. They were just thinking about the pricing, and they were just like, well, that's too much. I'm like, no, you're getting 4 consoles of games that is coming out.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut
Oh
you
no,
off.
go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I think one of the major problems with the what Nintendo should have done when they announced it, not the pricing, but when they announced it back at E3, when they should have already put the pricing out there, because it gave gamers way too long to speculate what it would be. And let's look at it this way: we all looked at the offering, and we're like, okay, it's $20 a year. The most expensive part of Nintendo Switch Online at that point was $20 a year. You know, no, I'm sorry, $35, because like that's the family plan, right?
Yes.
Okay, so the most expensive part of that was $35. So a lot of people thought that it at worst, like the basic would wind up being $35, and the big boy would be $50, right? So when we got the prices, I was like 50 and 80. I was like, hold on a minute, you know. So it was one of those things like they took too long, and they gave us enough time. And you know what, gamers, I've always said this, gamers, we need to temper our expectations. We do. We have a terrible problem with that. I don't know if it's part of our entitlement syndrome or whatnot, but we need to temper our expectations when it comes to that stuff, because you know what, Nintendo could have said it was $1,000, you know, and then what were we gonna do? Some people are going to put their credit card on the line and get it, you know, and stuff like that. So we need to temper our expectations, you know, expect the unexpected on some stuff. Expect it to be within reason. I'm not saying like the pricing for Nintendo Switch Online for the new stuff was unreasonable. I feel like it was getting close to that territory, but at the same time, you know, like if this money can be used for the R&D to get things right, I'm happy, you know. But you know, like that being said, like, you know, like these games are basically glorified emulators and stuff like that, and some of the emulation stuff that they're doing is not performing, you know, the way it should.
Well, I think this is the thing, and I think that's why I said when me and Jack wrote that story, our opinions about it, I think people didn't realize that, you know, there are games on here on the service that have not released, that never came
to the West.
And there's a lot of games that's on there that people have not played or haven't beaten, and so it's just like, you at least you're getting more. And I try not to. I have connected this to Game Pass, because I said Game Pass, I feel like, in my apparent reason, you know, that it doesn't offer you enough. It offers you modern games that you have played. Yes, you do get some new stuff, but that has to come from Microsoft and certain indies. You're not getting stuff that has never released in Japan that haven't released here. You're not getting import games on Game Pass or anything. And I don't mean that you're not getting like Yakuza or anything, because Yakuza has been here in America for a long time, since PS2. So people had opportunities to play, unless they were like a newborn or something and they just got a PS3 or something, or PS4. Okay, yeah, you can play those new versions. But they release games that's already been owned on or released on that platform.
Yeah.
On other platforms.
I'm feeling you on that. I am.
You know, so I think that, you know,
here's the thing about it. Nintendo just needs to take more risks. They do. Nintendo plays it way too safe, in my opinion. They number one, they play it way too safe, and also number two, they protect their stuff too much. And when I say protect, I don't mean like, you know, like dealing with piracy and stuff like that. They don't want to move from the norm. You know what? Because I guarantee you, like, the world is waiting for another Super Mario RPG game. They are.
Oh, yeah.
They are. And I'm not just talking about Mario and Luigi, even though Mario and Luigi does need to make a comeback.
Yes.
But they're waiting for another Super Mario RPG game. They're waiting to see how well Zelda is a dark horse, in my opinion. Zelda's always been okay. I had to think about this, because I thought Zelda got dirty, you know, like when because I played the Wind Waker.
Yeah.
And that killing blow that Link did on Ganon, I was like, oh my god. But you know what's crazy? Then I went back and I looked at the history of Legend of Zelda before before the Wind Waker.
Yeah.
And I realized, man, like Link has been doing Ganon dirty for quite a while. I don't know why I missed this. When I was a kid and I beat Ganon for the first time in the original Legend of Zelda, that dude was a pile of ashes with the freaking Triforce sticking on top of him. I didn't think about that's dark.
Yes. It's funny that you
You
mentioned
freaking shot him in the heart. With the silver arrow. He turned to a pile of ash.
It's funny that you mentioned it because Nintendo is doing a lot of more R&D because of all the money that they have received, all the revenue from sales and games.
Mhm.
They have invested into R&D, so we may see new titles. We may see everything that you're asking for, LeRon. And yes, I understand the hand holding is too much with them. Be like, look. But the thing about it, like I said, that
that Animal Crossing expansion announcement. Come on, guys. Come on. Like, I'll be honest with you, it's more of the same, But and like I said, like I feel like that's being a little safe, But
the thing about it is that people may feel a certain type of way of that, but when Microsoft offers it on Game Pass, nothing is said at all.
Because
it has become an expectancy on Game Pass.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Well, you know what? It's tough being the king, and like I've said many a times on Pow Block, like Nintendo is the #1 video game company in the world. It's hard being the king because guess what? Just like a king that has a kingdom, your flock, your people, your citizens are always going to demand like things of you, and it is your job as the king to either let them have it or being dark, let them have it, as men like execute your thrall.
Right. It is true. I can't disagree.
Yeah.
I know definitely for me, I have enjoyed the special pass. They came up with about 14 first party games. We talked about that on earlier Pow Block.
My boyfriend's happy because like what, next week we get Banjo, and Banjo-Kazooie is his Nintendo 64 game.
So this is the thing about Banjo-Kazooie. I played it, but I've never beaten the game. So so he got an expansion pass, or did he?
Yeah, he got it.
Because he probably on I'm assuming he owns the original N64 too.
Oh yeah. Last summer when he went home, this summer when he went home, like he brought his Nintendo 64 back with Banjo-Kazooie, Diddy Kong Racing, and a handful of other games, and I was just like, okay.
Yes.
Wow.
I had to ask you a question.
Of all the things that happened to me, I hooked up with a Nintendo gamer.
Hey, you blessed.
Yes, I am.
I'm still trying to find someone. So.
All right. We're gonna start something on our Discord. Let's help Ed get a date. I'm just gonna say a date. I'm not gonna say a boyfriend because that sounds a little like we're being desperate.
Oh, you might as well go ahead and say it. Say it.
Get Ed a man.
Pretty much. But yeah, I think Nintendo definitely with the indies, Voice of Cards, the directs, Sora coming to Smash Brothers and destroying half of the whole internet. Be like, what the heck? But then upsetting some people because Kingdom Hearts is cloud.
I'll just say this. Like, I had this plan. Like, I used the Sora coming to Smash. As a matter of fact, because when that direct came out, we had to talk about it on Crossroads because like it was expected but unexpected that Sora shows up in Smash. So we had to talk about that, right? And then I was like, you know what? This is it. This is how I'm gonna get like the most amount of views off a pod clip. I turned that into a pod clip. Do you know that thing hasn't even gotten 10 views? I was like, this is Kingdom Hearts. This is like royalty in the gaming industry, and I didn't get any hits.
Oh wow.
Shameless plug. Come to youtube.com/exodus803 like to check out my footage on Sora coming to Smash.
Yes, you guys would definitely enjoy it. It's a great talk.
As a matter of fact, I titled it Sora smashes gamers' hopes and dreams. I did wordplay and everything.
Yes. But yeah, I think Nintendo had a strong year to do their. I put my head down after the latest indie direct and was just like, their summer 22 is packed with good indies. I'm like, I cannot do this at all. I'm like, hot games in the first half, and then the summer is going to be crazy. I'm like, I've already got to deal with what Microsoft and Sony is going to be releasing.
Mhm.
You know, I'm just like, this is going to probably be 2019 all over again, where instead of it just being September, it's gonna be from January until the fall. Because man,
well, here's what I know. Like, I like Nintendo's roadmap. Like the first 6 months of 2022 is going to be nice for a lot of gamers. Like, I mean, you know, it's going to be nice, and I will say I'm here for it. I mean, I'm here for certain things. Like, you know, like I'm getting at Advance Wars. I am.
Yes.
I think Advance Wars is like the only. I mean, I would say I'm getting Sunbreak, but I'm getting Sunbreak for the PC. See, they messed up. They messed up by having it come out simultaneous release. They messed up, so Nintendo won't get that one. Actually, what am I talking about? Because Corey and I are going to be doing a rendition of Hunters for Hire, and so I'll probably wind up getting the Switch. The Switch version too, just because.
This is because I was about to say, I'm like, but we can't cross play.
I know, like,
come on, Capcom, get that together.
Stupid Capcom. What were you thinking?
Yes, but everybody, I think you're gonna call that a wrap.
With me calling Capcom stupid, yeah, that's how we end it.
Yes. Thank you, actually, LeRon. You want to go ahead and plug anything?
Yeah, thanks for having me on. It's always a pleasure. You can always all you gotta do is just remember this: Exodus 803, EXODUS 803. That gets you to me on social media, my Twitch and YouTube channels. Don't forget on Twitch Tuesday nights 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, twitch.tv/Exodus803 for Crossroads PlayStation Podcast. As of the taping of this show right now, we're off for this week and the next week, so we will be back right after the start of the new year. But definitely head to bossrush.net. Check out our archive of 63 episodes right now of that show on bossrush.net. And definitely enjoy yourself. We talk PlayStation, but we also talk about gaming in general. So yeah, you'll hear some Nintendo topics, you'll hear some Xbox topics, you'll hear some PC topics. Heck, you might hear about board games. We talk about everything over there. And Exodus 803 is also my gamer tag. So there you go, like PlayStation, Xbox. If you look for me hard enough, you'll find me on Nintendo. What do we call it? Friend codes? Yeah, I don't know my friend code by heart, but you can find me.
Yeah. It's so funny that in the next 4 months we'll hit 300 episodes of the Pow Block, and by that same time, you guys will be hitting 100 in Crossroads. And so
we gotta do it up. We gotta do it up.
Yes. I got.
We had a great year this year. We had a celebrity on our show. Like the 25th episode, we had Nick Apostolides.
Yes, he is amazing.
Yeah.
I watched that episode and I was just like, I didn't feel jealous. I was just like, I was listening to it, walking, exercising. It was just like, I want to be on this podcast and talk this game.
Nelly and I were starstruck. And man, he's such a cool guy. Like Nick Apostolides was the motion cap and the voice actor for Leon Kennedy in Resident Evil 2 remake, as well as the he also reprised his role in the Resident Evil Netflix animated one as Leon.
Which I'm about to be watching tonight.
Yeah.
I didn't get
I need to finish it. I'm halfway through it. I didn't finish it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that dude's amazing. Like it was
Can I-
wonderful. It was wonderful.
He literally felt like he has been on the podcast for years.
I know.
Like,
I know.
you are so down to earth.
He was down to earth. He had a nice flow. It was crazy. I'm gonna have to watch that episode again.
It's so good. I'm so happy, dude. We got to have just trying new things for a Pow Block and actually having a trivia show that everybody do. I still go back to you and Dave.
It's fun. That is so fun.
That clip, man, I just may have to pod clip that one of you and David getting the hard Monster Hunter question, and then you getting the easy Zelda question, and, and your mouth just drops like this, and David just like, what? That was hilarious. Oh man,
it's like how I get that gimme.
That and calling Majora's Mask, the side quest sequel. That was David. I can't wait for David to come back. I love him.
Man,
but yes,
David's feelings are so hurt with that. And poor Celeste got done dirty.
I don't know why everybody said. I'm just like I gave everybody easy questions, and then it rented to being hard. I'm like I gave.
I swear there was some gender discrimination going on that.
I say this. It was our first quiz, and I think people actually enjoyed it and love it. We're definitely gonna be bringing it back next year. There's some other things that we're gonna be.
I hope to be back for one.
Oh yes, LeRon, you're welcome back anytime. I know you are normally
Nintendo
busy.
questions are hard though.
Yes. I kind of want to do one for everybody for Boss Rush, like a Boss Rush podcast trivia, where I do just like everything. And like I said, I always give everybody multiple choice. So it's not like it's too hard until it gets to like the end of it and everything. But everybody, that is going to be it for Nintendo Pow Block. This is episode 277. This is our final episode of the year. Yes, I know I said that last episode, but this is the officially last episode. LeRon, thank you for joining me. Everybody, have a Merry Christmas. Have a great Kwanzaa. Hopefully, you guys got to have a great Hanukkah. Be safe on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. Like if you guys are going to be drinking, please have a designated driver. Please be safe on the roads. Wherever is going on that Friday and that Saturday, please take good care about yourself. Because we want to see you guys in the new year. Also, everybody, go to bossrush.net and check out our merch store. We have great merch that you guys could pick up. You got Boss Rush Podcast, Arsenal X. Of course, you got Crossroads. Like you gotta go support Crossroads, and of course, Nintendo Pow Block. Well, Pow Block at this time, and there's gonna be more merch that you guys could check out. We got more stuff coming up for you guys in 2022, and we also got the Boss Rush Awards coming later on.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
And guess what? Fans will have more of a say in it than they did at the Game Awards.
Oh, hallelujah. Yeah, I don't know. Are we calling it people are bringing the bossies?
We don't know if it's gonna be the bossies or the rush. What was it, rushies or something? We don't know yet. But we'll let you know soon. Because Corey and I are working on an announcement for that. So like we'll let you know soon. It's gonna be fun. And just a real quick heads up. Unlike the Game Awards, like we're going for every game that was released in the calendar year. So from January 1 to December 31st. Like we're not doing this. Oh, your game came out, last week when we did the cutoff. No, because I feel like it's unfair. Like there's no definitive season,
Yes.
when it's like some random, like if it's going to be the year of 2021, it's the whole year of 2021. It's not January 21 to January 1 until November 10th.
Yes. So with that, everybody, we will see you next year in 2022. And that was it for Nintendo Pow Block. Bye, everybody. Woo!
Have a good night.